Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Carroll and I am the Citizen Science Project Coordinator for the University of Georgia's Center for Invasive Species and Ecosystem Health. And today I'm going to be introducing you to the EDDMapS app. So hopefully by the end of today's presentation, you'll feel comfortable going out into the field and reporting invasive species, pest, or biological control agents that you may see. To note, I'm going to be showing the EDDMapS app using an Android device. The iPhone app is very similar in design, but where differences do occur, I'll try to highlight them so you are aware of them. So to begin, you're going to need to go to your appropriate app store, whether that's the Play Store for Android or the Apple Store for iPhone. And you're going to need to install the EDDMapS app. And once that's installed, you're going to go ahead and open. And you're going to be greeted with some brief informational slides about the EDDMapS app. So feel free to swipe through. And then we'll go ahead and get started. So before you're taken to the home screen of the EDDMapS app, you're going to need to select the state or province, if you're in Canada, that you're going to be reporting in or are currently located. And this just cues the EDDMapS app to download the appropriate species field guide for you. So I'm going to go ahead and download the Georgia field guide. And once that's downloaded, you'll then be taken to the home screen. So on the home screen, there are two different categories. You have report observation and species information. And under the species information, you have different categories. And these species are species that were downloaded within your field guide. The report observation allows you to also report from the field guide species, but you also have the opportunity to look on the server for all invasive species, pests, or biological control agents. So you have more species that you can select from up here in the new sighting or negative survey. So before we talk more about those two sections, I want you to go ahead and select the three horizontal slides in the top left side, and this will open your dashboard. So on the dashboard, you can easily get back to that home screen. You can change your state or province if you travel for your job or are just traveling and need to report a new sighting that's in a different state or province. You can update your settings as well as provide us feedback if you're experiencing any issues with the app. You would do that through here. So I won't go through every one of these, but just know that the dashboard is where you can easily jump from different sections of the app. So we're going to start by selecting EDDMapS login. And this is where, if you already have an EDDMapS account, you're going to enter your credentials and hit sign in. If you don't have an EDDMapS account, you're going to hit register, and you're going to fill out the information on the screen. Now, reporter category is just, whether you're a professional, a volunteer, or a citizen scientist using the app. And then profile, you can decide whether you want your profile to be public, which it's public if the icon is blue. If you'd like to keep your profile private, make sure that the circle is white. So again, it's whatever your preference is, whether it's public or private. And then you're going to hit register. So I have an EDDMapS account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. And don't worry, I've changed my password since logging in. And you're taken back to the home screen. So on here, we're going to begin by looking at the species information category. So I'm going to select plants. Feel free to select whatever you would like. And again, this is just the list of all the plant species from your field guide. And you can easily sort these species by scientific name or common name in the upper top right, whatever you're comfortable with. Or if you know what you're looking for, you can search here in the search button. I'm going to go ahead and pretend I saw velvet leaf. So I'm going to select velvet leaf, where I am then taken to a species-specific information page. So this page will look different depending on what species you select, whether it's insects, wildlife, or plant. The information in the detail section will vary. But here, this is for identification purposes. You'll get a brief overview of the appearance of the species and any other information we may have. You can also select the image icon, and you'll be taken to a selected few images from our Bugwood image database that will also help with identification purposes. And you can swipe through. And then if you are connected to Wi-Fi or data, you have this map feature icon that you can select. Again, you need to be on your data plan or Wi-Fi. But the map feature, and we'll do the prompts. So yes, I'll let EDDMapS use my device location. The map feature lets you see the up-to-date point distribution maps that we have, that we have for that species. And so I've looked at all this, and yes, I think this is the species I've seen. I want to report it. You can easily do that through this section by selecting the report button in the top right side, which will take you to the report form. And on the report form, going this way to the report form, some information is automatically filled in where other information needs to be filled in by you. So doing it this way, species is automatically filled in, as well as observation date. You can change observation date if you know you're filling out this report a couple days later. Feel free to update that as needed. And within plants only, you do have the option to add more plants to this report form, to this specific sighting. And you'll do that by selecting add more plants. And you'll be taken to the current field guide list of plants that you have. You have a couple other options down here at the bottom. So this star, which we'll talk about here in a minute, is your My Species list. And so that's a customizable list that you put together. This icon takes you back to the categories. So you can go ahead and select that. And then this icon, which I don't have, but are recent species that you've looked at. So if you have species that you've recently seen, you can go ahead and select them there. Or if you have a species that is outside of the field guide, you can select this search button, and this will take you to all species that are on our server. So if you're interested in a species that is not on your field guide, you can enter it here, and that will be added to the reporting form. So for today, I'll just say I saw a Norway maple, and it gets added to this specific sighting. Now, I did want to note, again, this is only for plants, and it assumes that all other information that we're going to discuss here is the same for all species that are listed. So for me, both Norway maple and velvet leaf. And it assumes that the location is the exact same, and we'll go over this in a minute. They're both positive sightings, the habitat's the same, the density's the same. So that's where you want to be careful if you are using this feature, because it assumes that for both species, all the rest of the information is the same. So I'm going to delete that for now and talk about some of the other parts of the reporting form. So when you are reporting an invasive species, a pest, or biological control agent, you're going to want to try and upload images to your reporting form. And this is just important because it assists the verifier in the verification process. So to do that, you're going to select this image icon, and you're going to have a few prompts to go through. And then to upload images to the reporting form, you have two options. You can choose images that you've previously taken of that sighting on your phone, so choose from gallery, or you can take pictures right now in the moment, and that will bring up your camera. So for today's presentation, I'm going to do choose from gallery, and I'll just pick an image that we already have on this phone. And it gets added to this report form. Another feature is hide exact location, and this is worded differently on iPhone, but it's the same function. And this is if you are interested in making sure your report for the general public is seen at a county level. So it hides the exact location. And if you're on private property, this might be important, or it's a species that you just want it to be at county level instead of an exact location. You would select that to turn it on or turn it off. And again, if you have it on, the report form to the public, the report to the public will be shown at county level instead of the exact level. The next part of the form is location. And so if you have your device GPS location turned on, the longer you stand in a certain area, the more accurate your location is going to become. And you're going to want to select this map icon over on the right to just verify that your location is accurate, as well as do some other map features. So this is different on Android and iPhone. So I'm going to talk about Android first and then do iPhone. And so on Android, you have two options for your map feature. You have point and polygon. And point is really good if you have a small infestation or a single sighting. And say this is where I'm currently standing, but the report was actually over here. You're just going to tap the screen, and that's going to move the mark for you. Now, if you have a larger sighting, a larger infestation, you're going to do polygon. And within Android, you have two options. You have freeform or vertice. Freeform is when you touch the screen and just draw the polygon, and it automatically fills it in for you. And so this is the infestation that you saw. If you don't like the free form that you drew, just go ahead and delete it and do it again. Another option is vertice. And what you're going to do for this one is instead of drawing, you're going to tap. So you're going to put points on the screen in a clockwise position to create that polygon. And when you're happy with it, you're going to hit done. And then your location is up to date and accurate on the reporting form. So for iPhone, there is just some slight differences in this feature. So you're still going to have the map icon that you're going to select, and you still have point or polygon options. For point, you're just going to tap the screen and place the point on the map where that infestation occurred. And again, this is for small infestations or a single occurrence, and you'll hit done when you are done. If it is a larger infestation, you're going to hit polygon. And again, in a clockwise position, you're going to tap the screen. So you're going to tap once to start the polygon and continue tapping in a clockwise position until you have completely covered that infestation area. And once you're happy, go ahead and hit done. Or if you want to restart or you aren't happy with the polygon, you can hit the trash symbol and restart as well. So that's the differences between Android and iPhone for this map feature on the reporting form. All right, jumping back to Android and the reporting form. Some other options that you have are time spent, and this is a great option for volunteers to track their hours. So say you spent 10 minutes surveying this area. Infestation status is, you have 3 categories, and this is where that species that you've listed at the top, it's positive if you saw that species at the time of the report. So that species was there. It's treated if that species was there and you applied control efforts. And it's negative if that species was not there at the time of the report. And we'll talk more about negative surveys here in a minute. So for this form, I'm going to leave it as positive. I saw velvet leaf during this report. And the other parts are just to the best of your ability. So infestation, pick the best category. For me, this is on UGA campus. I'm going to say it's a yard garden. If you did a polygon for location, your area will be automatically filled in. If you did a point, you're going to have to fill that in. Density is straightforward. How dense was that infestation, or how thick was it? And we'll say this one was pretty small. And then any other notes that you think is relevant to the reporting form and for the verifiers, make sure you add in the notes section. So I'm just going to add that this is an EDDMapS Summit report. And when you're done and everything is accurate to your ability, hit save. And when you hit save, that report is saved to your upload queue, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Or if in your settings you've selected instant upload, which I'll show you, that report is instantly sent to the server and the verification process begins. So one other feature on the species information page I want to talk about is this star button. And again, this star is your My Species list. So I'm going to select it. And we'll try again. All right. So Velvet Leaf has now been added to My Species list. And the My Species list is getting back to the dashboard. My Species list is just a customizable list that makes for easy access for finding and reporting these species. So maybe you only know a handful of species that you're comfortable identifying, or your job is only interested in a couple of species. You can add them to your My Species list for easier finding and reporting purposes. And you can always edit that list using Edit. You can add or remove species at any time. You can search it as well as sort it by common name or scientific name. So two other options I want to show you, getting back to the home screen, are under this report observation category. So we have new sighting, which we're going to go ahead and select. And this is another way to get to the reporting form. However, you can tell species is not automatically filled in. So this is where you need to fill in the species that you have seen. And again, you have the different categories, different icons down here at the bottom. You can use My Species list, use the categories, recent species, or search the server. And you will add your species. And it's now been added, and everything else is the exact same as the rest of the form. So you're going to have to add your images. You can update the observation date if need be, hide your location, and so forth. Now, talking about negative surveys, I briefly mentioned that you could do a negative survey the other way through the reporting form, or you can do it through this button. And so a negative survey is just as important as a positive survey. So not finding an invasive species, pest, or biological control agent is just as important. So if you are out surveying an area and you don't see certain species, go ahead and fill out a negative survey. And so again, some information is automatically filled in, like the date, time, but you will have to update your species list. So we'll just do, and we'll add that. Your time spent, again, great for volunteer hours. And then you are going to have to edit your area surveyed. So we're going to hit edit, and we're going to hit that button to quickly go to where I'm located. And then everything else is the exact same as I've mentioned for the map feature for both Android and iPhone. So we're just going to do a point here. And we did not see Velvet Leaf at this location. And again, add any information that you might think is important. And hit save. All right. Now, getting to the upload queue, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about today. So I've mentioned when you've saved your reports, this is where they are saved unless in your settings you have turned on your instant upload. So if you want your reports to be instantly uploaded to the server for verification, that is where you will turn it on. And again, that's in your settings on the dashboard. However, if you don't have that turned on, this is what your upload queue looks like. Again, it's in the dashboard and it's queue. And this is where all your sightings are until you upload them. And you have to be connected to Wi-Fi or data to upload your reports, even for instant upload. So make sure at the end of the reporting session, if they aren't uploaded, to upload them for verification. Otherwise, they just sit on your phone and don't go through the verification process. You can edit your reports until they've been uploaded through the app. So you would just select the report you want to edit and make sure that the information is correct. And if everything is there and you want to upload them, you select this button and go ahead and select the reports you either want to upload or potentially delete. And if you want to upload them, you hit the upload icon here. And if you want to delete them for any reason, you select delete here. And so that is your upload queue. And so with that, I hope you feel more comfortable using the EDDMapS app.